So welcome to the office hours. We haven't done them in a little bit, so there's a lot to talk about. In this office hours, we're going to, well, first explain a little bit what we've been doing in the past month or two since we last spoke, and then to do a quick demo of what we're developing, which I think you're going to really like. With me, I have Paul and Edmond,
Hi, everyone.
And Paul will do the demo and explain what we've been talking about and not talking about what we've been working on, and do a quick demo for you. Then if you have any questions, you can ask them on the chat, or we can talk after the demo.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Anna. So I'm pleased to see you all again. We are going to try and be more regular now. We have good excuses though. We've been busy working on a lot of new features I'm going to show you in a few minutes. The brief update on the company is that late last year in September, we had the chance to meet the BetaWorks team, and they were kind enough to select us in the BetaWorks ThinkCamp program, which was an acceleration program for companies in the tools for thinking segment, which is exactly what Kosmik is. And so we spent almost more than 2 months in New York. The Christophe, which you may have seen in other Kosmik office hours, and we worked on the product, and we worked on what are the best workflows that you can implement in Kosmik, who are the best people to speak with to give them Kosmik and expand our product and give it a broader following. And the program was very, very great. We learned a ton, and that's where we discovered that the most used part of Kosmik is actually the web browsing part, and that people were already some of you were already using Kosmik as a way to browse the web and reuse content and create new documents. And so we kind of doubled down on those workflows, and we are now working on making Kosmik the best web browser to explore ideas you can have. And also we finally managed to develop one of the most requested features we had in the backlog, which is the multiplayer mode. And so I'm very happy to show you those features. I think Anna may have to just give me the authorization to share my screen, and then I'd be happy to show you what we've been up to in the last few months. So yeah, so as we've been telling you, we've been working on a lot of things. So I'm actually going to show you that new version of Kosmik first on the Mac and then on the iPad. So this is Kosmik, and what you can see here is that I have two mouse's cursors. So here, for example, you see me moving around on my iPad, and what's super cool is that if I scroll on that web page, it's actually synced between the two devices. So you can point at something while you're walking with someone, for example, highlight some text, you know that feature, and then of course drag it out, and you have directly the text that is displayed on the canvas. The next feature we are going to work on is how do we do backlinking between that content and the web sticker. And so in Kosmik 2.1, which is the version that will come out after the one containing the multiplayer, which is 2.0, we will have a backlinking system. When you extract some text, the URL will show in the title, or a condensed, shortened, nicer to look at URL will show in the title. And when you click on it, it will go here and reopen the website directly in pin mode, or point you at the sticker where it comes from. And so now Kosmik is very, very nice to use for collaboration. So for example, here I can be working on a mood board. And so the person, we also have that feature. So for example, here in the upper right corner, you see that I am connected with another device. If I click here, I can follow that person like in any other multiplayer software. All of this is working on top of our peer-to-peer, decentralized, encrypted end-to-end database. So all of this is working directly between the devices. We see absolutely no data. It was a very hard technical challenge. And I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes. And so what you can do here is I can move that picture on the iPad while I'm doing something else on the Mac. And so you can imagine all of the workflows that you can now build in Kosmik. So for example, to build a mood board, you can have, again, someone working here, extracting an image, and you can actually see that person, select an image, drag it out. You see I have a placeholder that shows you the size that the object is going to occupy on the canvas. And then you can drop it, and it's going to sync between that other device. So it's very, very convenient to work with Kosmik as a multiplayer product. You can see the paint is kind of still fresh, and syncing between the two devices can sometimes be tedious, but it's going to work very well in a few weeks. And we are actually, here it is, we are actually ironing out some issues. What was very difficult though was to maintain transclusion, magic copy between the devices. So for example, here I have those two cards, and you see if I move the elephant, it's going to move in the two cards. If I move the chair, it's going to move in the two cards from the iPad. So we maintain that feature on the canvas, but we wanted to give you another feature. We have a take on collaboration, which is that today, when you work in Figma or Notion or any of those multiplayer software, you have to add people to that kind of super container, which is the workspace, the team, or the drive. And that's actually very tedious, and that's where you manage permission. In Kosmik, we created what we call the address book. And the address book allows you to have access to any person in the Kosmik directory as long as you know their Kosmik ID, which is that chain of character here. And so if I want to work with Alice, for example, I can just drag and drop a contact card on the canvas. And we're working on a feature where if you drop Alice on the card, it gives Alice only access to the card. The first part of that feature, though, is to create what we call shared cryptographic domains. And I don't want to go into too much technical details, but the idea is that each object you see on that canvas has its own key. And so let's say that I'm working with Alice in that shared universe, and I want to share only that card with someone else. I can, and I can share it with other people. I can reuse it privately, and we can create, like you could have a card that's contextually surrounded by those pictures in that universe, but in another board is going to be surrounded, I don't know, by cost analysis or blueprints. And so the workflow now in terms of collaboration, thanks to Kosmik, will be reversed. Either you bring people in the canvas, classical fashion, Figma-like, or you can send them just one object, but thanks to transclusion, they can work with you in that specific cryptographic domain. And we think it's going to change the way we approach collaboration. The other thing is you can use Kosmik to integrate your legacy tool. So here, for example, you can work in Google Sheets directly in Kosmik. You can have Notion. And so you can aggregate different tools directly in a multiplayer universe and use Kosmik as kind of a meta layer for collaboration. For example, if I want to add something, if I want to add a remark, if I want to add a comment for Anna and Edmond to see, for example, I can just drag and drop this here, and they will see that comment, and they have access to all of the files that are interesting for the project. So to tell you everything, the BetaWorks experience helped us design those features, and I think make Kosmik stronger because, as you know, the knowledge management market, there are a lot of players in it. A lot of them are mostly text-based, mostly turned towards note-taking. We think that with Kosmik, we can have a unique take on what it means to do knowledge management in a visual UI, in a canvas that is supercharged because it is a web browser. And we think that the workflows that will be possible because it works on the iPad, because we have the pin mode, because we have multiple boards, because we have transclusion, are going to be very, very interesting and will actually create a new way to do knowledge management and to expand on those workflows. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we've been up to. That's kind of what we've been doing, which is quite a lot. And so the next few weeks, we'll release Kosmik 1.9.0, which is the last release before the Kosmik 2.0 with the multiplayer release. 1.9 will contain live events. So live events are the cursors. So for example, what that means is that if you're currently using Kosmik on an iPad and a Mac and you use them in conjunction, thanks to all the work we did on synchronization to make sure that your data are safe, thanks to all the work we did on multi-device handling in the backend, we can release live events and then multiplayer, and live events will allow you to just work between your Mac and your iPad on the same account. And the next step is the release of 2.0 with multiplayer, which is basically the same thing over several accounts with cryptography at the object level, which is a lot. So that's kind of the updates about where is Kosmik today.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Paul. So I'm going to read a few questions now. So Alex is asking if there's going to be a Windows version anytime soon.
So yes, there will be a Windows version very soon, and I'm actually trying to find a screen cap because I'm on a Mac, so I cannot show you the Windows version. But it is actually almost done, and I'm very, very happy about the results. So let me just show you what we shared this morning in our own team sharing workspace. So this is the Windows version. To give you a bit more information about it, it's the PWA. So the Mac and the iPad app are native, which has an enormous a lot of benefits. For the Windows app, what we did is we repackaged, like a lot of other guys that you may know, like Figma, like Notion. We repackaged the PWA, so the progressive web app, the code that we run on the web app, in a Windows app. It will give us a lot of other features, though. It will allow us to finally have web browsing in the Windows app. It will allow us to bring it to feature parity with the Mac app. So the estimated time for this release is, I would say, alongside 2.0. If we are very, very good, it may be sooner, but we have a lot of work to do, and we want to make sure that it is working very well before releasing it.
Okay, good. So here's another question. Do you guys have any idea about pricing yet? How much it's going to cost?
So it is a very interesting question. And as you know, for startups, it's also a very tough one. We are now, I think, in a place where the product is good enough to become a paid product. So Kosmik will remain free. The Kosmik you know today will remain free. And for an enormous number of users that have downloaded Kosmik in the last 6 months, it's actually going to be free for a long time. We are going to release paid plans probably in March or April. Once the multiplayer is really out, we have numbers about how it's going. And the thing is, we believe that Kosmik should be free, and that some of the features, like maybe you have a lot of devices to sync, maybe you use 2 iPads and a Mac, maybe you use, I don't know, several devices. So we are thinking about how can we maybe make the part of the syncing and publish mechanism paid, and also around collaborations. The easiest way to do it would be to say, hey, the free version of Kosmik gives you the opportunity, allow you to create 100 cards or 100 objects and free boards, and you may not collaborate with more than 3 people, and that's what we may end up doing. But the plan now is to have a personal version of Kosmik that would give you basically unlimited syncing or unlimited storage and unlimited collaborators, and then a more professional version that would unlock other features like final grain permissions in collaboration, maybe team handling or team management features. That's what we intend. We have a few options. I think that in February everything will be very clear, and you can expect the release of paid plans in March or April. And we also are working on kind of a Kosmik club, which would look like some of our competitors' ambassador plan, where you would pay upfront for 1, 2, or 3 years, which is a vote of confidence in the future of the company and the development of the product, and gives us more cash, which ensure that the future of the company is easier to envision.
Yeah, and you can also have more impact probably in the development of what features you like the most, because you're someone. Yeah. All right.
And access to the betas and access to a lot of things like that.
Okay, so until we have more questions, I think we can wrap up. Okay, so thank you so much for coming. I hope this was really useful. If you have any more questions, we're going to have another type of event, which we call open hours. And they're going to be on Discord every month as well. So it's going to be every month the office hours, and then 2 weeks later, every month as well, the open hours. So in the open hours, you can just join on Discord. I'm going to be there in a voice channel, just hanging out. If you have any questions, you can pop in, ask me questions, I'll respond, pop out. So it's super easy, super smooth. I think it's going to be easier than having to go to events if you can't, or it's more flexible if you want to do that. So we're going to be sharing that on our Discord channel, which I'll put the link. And I hope you'll join and you come with questions or even feature requests or any issues that you might have. And of course, if you can't wait for that, which is going to be February 1st, so another Wednesday. If you can't wait for that, we're always on Discord, so we can always ask, or on Twitter, so we can always answer questions there. Okay. Well,
awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. It was a pleasure to see you all.
Bye.
Bye all.